Hi fans of high quality entertainment. I have finally become a big fan of this, I'm a big fan of the band, but this particular album I just never totally appreciated. I never got totally into it. I did like it quite a bit, but I never loved it until recently. And so it's been 51 years that I've known of this album. And I now absolutely love it. It is yes, I finally totally appreciate Volume 4. Tony Iommi's riffs, there's so many killer riffs on this album, on any of the Black Sabbath Ozzy albums. Ozzy's vocals are great. He's very underrated as a singer, at least in the Black Sabbath years. Geezer, of course, his bass and his lyrics. They're always, way above average for this kind of, whatever you want to call them, hard rock, heavy metal type band. Very underrated. And then, of course, the drummer. Bill Ward is, once again, so underrated. Such a powerful drummer. But, growing up, I think the first album that I knew of was Paranoid, which I absolutely loved. And then I bought Master of Reality with my own money. So, I owned it, it was mine, and I absolutely loved it. So when Volume 4 came out, I was still, 58, 68, 9, 70, I was 12, 13. I didn't have the money to buy this, but my older brother did, and he was a big Black Sabbath fan. So I did hear it, but I never owned this. And I think that's, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, in your younger years, if you don't own it yourself, it doesn't mean as much to you. So I never owned this for many years. And then when I did own it, it didn't mean as much to me as the other Black Sabbath albums did. And so something about it, well, the production for one thing, it's kind of murky and not quite as good maybe as Master of Reality or some of their other albums. But I don't know. Just in the last week or so, I've been playing this a lot, and like I said, it finally got through to me what a killer album this is. Wheels of Confusion, Tomorrow's Dream, and like I said, Geezer Butler with his lyrics. When sadness fills my days, it's time to turn away, and then tomorrow's dreams become reality to me. And then the way that Ozzy sings those lines, it's just when he's singing, it's like it's very heartfelt, and changes, the way Ozzy sings changes. I feel unhappy, I feel so sad, I lost the best friend that I ever had. And you can hear it in his voice that he sounds emotional about it. Yeah, so Tomorrow's Dream, Changes is beautiful. I know that some Black Sabbath fans don't care for that, but I've always really liked that song. FX is just like a minute and a half of noodling. It doesn't bother me. I listen to it because it's like it goes into the next track, Supernaut, which is awesome. And of course, that track, the guitar riff in it, it's one of Frank Zappa's favorite Black Sabbath songs. He was a Black Sabbath fan. Yeah. And then, of course, Snowblind, Cornucopia, Laguna Sunrise is beautiful. Nice acoustic guitars. Saint Vitus Dance and Under the Sun. So yeah, I totally get it now. It just took me 51 years. So now... But I think overall, I've been playing a lot of Black Sabbath recently, and I think overall, even though, they're so well known, and this is just the Ozzy years I'm talking about, they're so well known, I still feel that they're a bit underrated. with Ozzy's vocals, like I said, he was a damn good singer back in the day. And all of the killer guitar riffs by Tony Iommi, they basically created heavy metal. Some will argue, of course, but I feel they did with this album. Scary death metal, or whatever you want to call it. And then, of course, Black Sabbath, Paranoid. Just a classic album of the early 70s. War Pigs, Paranoid. Planet Caravan, Iron Man, Electric Funeral, Hand of Doom, Rat Salad, and Fairies Wear Boots. Of course, it was originally supposed to be titled War Pigs, which would make more sense with the album cover, but it still does kind of work with Paranoid. That guy's paranoid. He's out in the woods, and he's very paranoid, and he's swatting a sword around. Then, Black Sabbath, Master of Reality. Like I said, I own this as a 12, 13-year-old, and so it was mine, and I totally loved it. And then Volume 4, which my brother bought. Possibly my favorite. It goes between two albums, actually, but I think my favorite is, at least today, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. And like I said, with Ozzy's vocals, his vocals on Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath are just killer. And A National Acrobat, which features probably my favorite riff of all of Tony's, near the end when it goes do 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 do. Sounds just like that. And then, yeah, the other favorite of mine is Sabotage, Upside Down Sabotage. Yeah, Hole in the Sky, Symptom of the Universe, one of their best tracks, of course. And the other thing I wanted to say is, you know, the last two albums with Ozzy, and I'm not talking about 13. I did buy 13, it was okay, but without Bill Ward, I just don't consider it a true Black Sabbath album, you know, for the Ozzy years at least. But if you like it or love it, that's good. Yeah, Technical Ecstasy, it has its fans, and I think it has grown in stature over the years. But still, I watch, you know, album reviews, and still there's these big Black Sabbath fans for the Ozzy years, and they still don't say very much positive about this album or Never Say Die. And I love these two albums. I think they're very underrated. And yes, it's experimental, especially this one. You know, they do some jazzy stuff on side too, like with Air Dance, but Never Say Die, Johnny Blade, Junior's Eyes, A Hard Road, one of my all-time favorite Black Sabbath songs. And Bill Ward once again singing on Swinging the Chain. And he sings a beautiful song on Technical Ecstasy, It's All Right, which I've always loved. And so I just think the whole Ozzy Black Sabbath era is underrated. You know, fans, I did a poll recently in my community, and hardly anybody mentioned these two. And, you know, it was mainly the first two albums and some of the others, off and on, you know, for their favorites. But I don't know. I love all 8 of these albums. And like I said, I just feel Black Sabbath is underrated. They were one of the greats. So thanks for listening and have a great day.